So in the last video I told you how to set up the indicators for the 4-hour tunnel Vegas method, strategy or system or whatever you call it. And now I'll show you how to exactly enter a trade. Since there are some things you have to watch out for, and especially what I like to take a lot of time for is the stop loss. So I've selected an example for you. I just quickly scrolled through the charts, and as you can see here in the weekly chart, here you can see that this from like the 4th, starting on the 4th of March, there is an uptrend going on. Okay, 4th of March. Now we are here at the 9th of March. What we can see here is the 55 period moving average, and beneath that our period 8 moving average. Now, what has happened here? We have a negative slope, but then it changes to a positive slope, like in this moment. I would say, yeah, it's about in this moment, on one of these two candles. What does it mean? Well, certainly it's a buy signal. It's actually even a primary buy signal, a high probability setup. What I would like to watch out for now is like some resistances and breakouts, since this is actually not a good example because the price already broke out. As you can see here, these are the ranges I would put. You can see here, here, and here. So these are some ranges here, here, and here. So once the price moved to this area, I would certainly enter a trade, and that's what you should do. But for example, if there's a slope change and there still is a consolidation, then you should always consider, if there's a range, you should always consider to wait till the price moves out of the range. But what I would have done here now is to just enter my trade here. And where do I put my stop loss, would you ask? Well, I always go back just to the last low, which is beneath this, not to the next low, but to the last, well, kind of resistance zone. And this is, support. And this is kind of here. So my stop would be pretty big actually. It would be about a 90, yeah, 100 pip stop loss. Now this doesn't mean that your trailing stop has to be that high. You can still use a 50 pip stop loss. Actually, I would recommend you to use a 50-60 pip stop loss, and if you would have done that, you could have easily grabbed sorry, I can't fit that on the picture, but it's about 130 pips. Now, as I said, this is a primary example, and I'll also try to find a secondary. I just looked for one, but I kind of lost it again. Ah, yeah, here we are. Okay, this is even better. Now, yeah, in this area, the trend was still up. As you can see here, this is the July. Actually, just changed to an uptrend, but yeah, you can see the increasing distance. So this is all uptrendish. And this is June. Okay, so let's go to July, where I actually wanted to look at. So here's a good example for. First of all, this is a secondary setup, since the 8 period moving average is above the 55 moving average. And there's something very interesting. Here you can see there's some kind of range. Now, it doesn't have to have two very like fixed support and resistance levels, but you get the idea that in this area there's some resistance, and in this area there's some support. Now, in this point you can see a slope change, but at this point I wouldn't have entered a trade. I would not, no. You know why? Because the price is still in this range. So I will wait till it breaks out of this range at this point. You can see here. I would usually say just let the price move another 20 pips maybe if it's in range, and then you can enter. Now if you would have entered the trade here, you could be very happy and use like a smaller stop loss. I would have probably used this zone as the last support zone and entered my trade with like its 70 pip stop loss. Let me just check something. Yeah, another interesting thing to do is to use a rule to not enter in these ranges, and it's called the tunnel rule, I think, or at least I call it that way, which basically means whenever the 8 period moving average and the 55 period moving average are in the range of 50 to 60 pips, you do not enter trades, which is about this zone. You can also always use this little tool to just click there and drop it down there, and you can easily measure the distance. Okay, so that's it. Now you're able to enter trades.